What if the animal that once helped build America's farms is now quietly feeding the world? Under the wide American sky, the horse has always stood for something bigger than muscle or speed. It carried pioneers across the frontier, pulled early plows through rough soil, and raced through our movies and childhood stories as a living symbol of courage and freedom. For many Americans, the sound of hooves means rodeos, dusty ranch roads, and the kind of open space you can still feel in your chest. In the American mind, a horse isn't just livestock. It's a partner, a teammate, almost a friend. But step outside the U.S., and the picture changes. From parts of Europe to Central Asia and East Asia, horse meat is not a taboo. It's a traditional high-value protein, lean, rich in iron, and now marketed as a clean premium meat for health-conscious consumers looking for something different from beef or pork. Far from the rodeo arenas and postcard ranches, large-scale farms and processing plants handle thousands of horses each year, treating them not as symbols, but as units of production. The same animal that once pulled wagons is now tracked by sensors, weighed by the ton, and priced by the pound. For some people, that reality feels efficient. For others, it feels deeply uncomfortable. In this episode, we're going to follow that hidden journey from open pastures to semi-free-range feeding systems, from high-tech breeding barns all the way to the processing lines where every step is designed for consistency, safety, and control. This isn't just a story about horses. It's a story about how we, as humans, decide what is family and what is food, and what those choices say about us. So before we dive deeper, I want to ask you directly, in your eyes, is a horse a companion or livestock? Drop a 1 in the comments if you see horses as companions, a 0 if you see them as livestock. And if you're ready to look at modern agriculture from angles most people never see, hit subscribe too so you don't miss the next chapter of this story. Across the northern grasslands, modern horse farms look nothing like the small family pastures most Americans imagine. These operations manage hundreds, sometimes thousands of animals at once, but they do it with a system that blends freedom and structure. It's called semi-free-range grazing, and it's the backbone of today's large-scale horse meat production. During the day, the herd roams broad open fields where natural grazing keeps their muscles active and their stress levels low. Horses are built to move, and this daily movement produces leaner, cleaner meat with a more consistent texture. But unlike fully free-range herds, these animals return each evening to controlled feeding stations, where every pound of hay, grain, and mineral mix is measured with precision. It's freedom balanced with accountability. Water alone becomes a massive logistical challenge. An adult horse drinks between 20 and 40 liters a day. On a farm with 1,000 head, that's nearly 40,000 liters that must be pumped, cleaned, and delivered every single day. Smart sensors track water flow at each trough, alerting workers instantly if a line clogs or a tank drops too fast. A system designed to prevent dehydration long before it becomes a problem. The land itself is managed just as carefully. Rotational grazing divides the fields into zones, allowing one area to rest while another is used. This keeps the soil healthy, prevents overgrazing, and preserves the native grasses that horses digest so efficiently. Over time, this method protects both the herd and the landscape, ensuring the farm can operate year after year without damaging the ground it depends on. Even the weather is monitored. In hot summers, misting systems and shaded shelters keep the herd cool. In harsh winters, windbreaks and insulated barns prevent energy loss and frost stress. The goal isn't just comfort, it's consistency. Calm, well-regulated animals grow more predictably and yield higher quality meat. What looks simple from a distance, a group of horses grazing under an open sky, is actually a carefully engineered system. Here, tradition and technology meet in the field long before a single animal reaches the next stage of production. By the time a young horse reaches 2 or 3 years old, its future begins to split into 2 very different paths. One leads towards speed, competition, and the roar of the racetrack. The other follows a quieter route, steady growth, calm handling, and eventual entry into the meat production system. These 2 destinies shape everything about how each animal is raised. For racing prospects, the day starts long before sunrise. Trainers walk them through warm-up routines that build stamina without straining joints. Every calorie is calculated: oats for energy, high-protein pellets for muscle repair, supplements for bone strength. Veterinarians check tendons, respiration, and heart rate, while physiotherapists stretch tight muscles and apply cold therapy after training sessions. A winning horse can earn millions, and even after retirement, its genetics may be sold for breeding contracts that last for decades. Meat horses live a very different rhythm. Instead of high-intensity workouts, they're managed for steady, stress-free growth. Calm behavior is essential. Stress releases hormones that toughen the muscle and lower meat quality. Their diet focuses on efficiency, fiber-rich hay for digestion, grains for energy, soybean meal for protein, and mineral blocks to support healthy bones and hooves. Technology supports both paths, but in different ways. Smart tags on racing horses track speed bursts, stride length, and recovery patterns. For meat horses, the same devices monitor weight gain, daily steps, and heart rate fluctuations that may indicate illness. This data allows farms to adjust feed, detect problems early, and maintain consistent growth curves. Despite the contrast, both systems share one goal: keeping the animal healthy. Racing requires peak physical condition. Meat production depends on steady development and minimal stress. In their own ways, each path reflects a different philosophy of value, speed, and prestige on one side, stability and yield on the other. From the outside, they may look like members of the same herd, but in practice, their lives follow two parallel tracks shaped by economics, purpose, and the expectations humans place on them. Long before a foal takes its first breath, its future is shaped by a system built on data, timing, and genetics. Modern breeding barns blend tradition with biotechnology to produce horses that grow efficiently, stay calm, and fit the needs of large-scale production. Everything begins with the breeding calendar. As spring light increases, mares naturally enter heat. Farms track these cycles with hormone tests and ultrasound scans to pinpoint the ideal moment for conception. While natural mating still exists, artificial insemination dominates large operations. It reduces risk, raises conception rates, and allows a single high-value stallion to contribute genetics across an entire herd. Collecting and preparing semen has become a lab-level routine. Technicians examine motility and concentration, ensuring each dose meets strict quality standards before it is chilled and scheduled to match a mare's ovulation window. The margin for error is small. Precision is the difference between a successful pregnancy and a lost season. Once a mare is confirmed pregnant, the focus shifts to monitoring. The 11-month gestation is followed through periodic ultrasounds and nutrition plans that adjust as the fetus grows. As foaling nears, halter sensors or tail-mounted alerts notify workers the moment labor begins, ensuring help is available if complications arise. A healthy foal should stand within its first hour. In modern barns, young horses are quickly fitted with microchips or smart tags that record weight, temperature, movement, and heart rate. These early data points help determine whether a foal is better suited for athletic potential or steady growth for meat production. Breeders consistently choose traits such as muscle density, feed efficiency, calm temperament, and disease resistance. Over several generations, these targeted choices reshape entire herds, making outcomes more predictable and more profitable. Today, the breeding barn is no longer just a birthplace. It is a controlled environment where biology and analytics merge, designing the horses that will eventually fill two very different roles in the modern industry. When a horse reaches market weight, usually 992 1,323 pounds, it enters the final stage of production. For many people, this is the most difficult part of the process to accept, but certified facilities follow strict animal welfare and food safety rules designed to keep the procedure controlled and humane. Everything begins with calm movement. Horses are guided through wide, quiet lanes, and workers avoid noise or pressure that could spike stress levels. In the stunning area, a trained operator uses a captive bolt device to deliver one fast, accurate impact that renders the horse unconscious instantly. Only after this point does processing begin, once the animal can no longer feel pain or react. The next steps resemble other livestock systems. skinned, and opened along a standardized line where teams handle evisceration and trimming with strict sanitation procedures. Knives, hooks, and equipment are cleaned and checked repeatedly, and inspectors examine each carcass for signs of disease, injury, or contamination before it moves forward. Cooling is essential. Once cleaned, the carcass is placed in a chilled room kept just above freezing. Quick cooling preserves the meat's deep red color and slows bacterial growth. After chilling, workers break the carcass into primals, loin, shoulder, hindquarter, before cutting them into steaks, ground meat, or thin strips destined for jerky and lean protein dishes aimed at health-conscious buyers. Traceability is built into each step. Tags record origin, weight, date, and inspection results so the meat can be tracked from farm to shipment. This transparency matters especially for export markets, where horse meat is marketed as a clean, iron-rich, low-fat alternative to beef. Around the world, these cuts end up in stews, hot pots, and even raw, sashimi-style plates served as a specialty item. But in the United States, cultural values place horses closer to companions than livestock, creating a strong emotional divide between how the product is made and how people feel about it. Inside the plant, the focus remains on safety, consistency, and control, yet outside. Those same practices raise deeper questions about where we draw the line between respect, necessity, and profit. Across this episode, we followed the horse through every step of a modern production chain. We started in the fields, where semi-free-range systems let herds graze by day and return to measured feed at night. Farms handled tens of thousands of liters of water, manage rotational grazing, and use sensors to keep animals hydrated, calm, and growing at a steady rate. We then looked at how young horses are pushed into two different directions. Racing animals get early training, tight nutrition plans, and constant medical care because one winner can be worth millions. Meat horses are managed for quiet behavior and efficient weight gain, with diets built around hay, grains, soybean meal, and mineral blocks. In both cases, tags and digital records track health and growth from month to month. Inside the breeding barns, technology makes the process more predictable. Artificial insemination, semen testing, pregnancy checks, and full monitoring allow farms to plan genetics instead of leaving results to chance. Over time, this creates herds that match clear goals: strong, fast horses for sport, or calm, efficient animals for meat production. Finally, in processing plants, we saw how low-stress handling, captive bolt stunning, carcass inspection, chilling, cutting, and traceability turn live animals into a controlled food product. The technical steps look similar to beef or pork, even though the cultural reaction is very different. Put together, these pieces show a complete picture of the modern horse industry: pasture management, daily care, breeding, growth, and processing, all linked into one system. Some countries focus on the meat, some on racing, some on companionship, but the practical reality is the same. Raising horses at scale today means using planning, data, and equipment to balance animal health, product quality, and economic pressure from the market.